chapter 2 review. With question 4, it says find all the zeros and then write it as a product of linear factors, so write it in factored form. So we need to use the rational zero test because we can't factor it. So we use the rational zero test. We say what are the factors of C, or what are the factors of A. So the factors of 9 are 9, 3, and 1. And the factors of 1 are 1. And then you would divide those all out by 1. So the possible choices, there's 6 of them. And you don't get much of a chance. You just have to go out and try one of them. So I'm going to try 3. So I'm going to see if I divide by 3, which is the factor of x minus 3. So I'm going to use synthetic division. What do I want my remainder to be? 0. So I have x cubed, x squared, x, and constant. Coefficients are 1, -7, 15, -9. Bring down the 1. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Did it work? Yes. If it doesn't work, then you have to go back up and recheck with the new possible rational zero.
You have to do it again.
Put multiple rational zeros.
Because there could be 3, right?
Yep, so we're not done. We have to still now go out and find the other 2, because there's up to 3. So this is the remainder of 0. So now we drop the quadratic now to a quadratic. So we've taken out the factor of x minus 3, and then we're left with is my x squared, my x, my constant. So I'm left with x squared minus 4x plus 3. And what I try to do is I try to factor that quadratic equation. If I can't factor it, I use the quadratic formula or complete the square. Most students choose quadratic formula. So we use the chart method. We say, what are the factors of 3 that add to -4? -3, -1, yep. So now I have it in factored form. This is called product of linear factors. So I have the function factored out. So there's one of my answers. And then it also asks you to identify the zeros. So what are my 3 zeros? 3, 3 again, which is a repeated 0, and then 1. Yep, I can spot. Gonna make this a little smaller. Oh yeah. Forgot what I was doing that. Right here?
Down the
Right here?
I just needed that.
Okay. What other questions do you have?
We do 17D.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Graph each, label all the impertinent information. So I tend to kind of do it in a certain order. So I would identify the domain restriction first. What would be the domain here?
X
Or all
not
reals
equal
except
-2.
Yep. All reals except x can't be -2. So then where's the VA at?
Can't be -2, right?
So x equals 2 will be the vertical asymptote. Then we go on to the HA.
Wait, it's 2 or is it x equals -2?
Oh, -2, thanks. -2. The HA. The degrees are the same.
would be negative 2 divided by 1.
Yep, so you divide those. So the HA is negative 2 over 1, or in reduced form, y equals negative 2. Then I go on to find my x and y intercepts. To find the x-intercepts, I set the numerator equal to 0 and I solve for x. So negative 2x minus 6 equals 0. So negative 2x equals 6. Divide by negative 2, and I get x to be negative 3. So I have an x-intercept of negative 3, 0. Then I go on to find my y-intercept. The y-intercept is when I evaluate the function for 0. So I'm going to substitute a 0 into the function and reduce it down. So I have negative 6 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator, which is negative 3. So I have a y-intercept of 0, negative 3. Then I go on to check to see if there's some symmetry. Maybe wait on the symmetry and see what you got. Alright, so let's go up and see what we have for our graph. So we have a vertical asymptote at negative 2. And you'd want to label those things on your graph. Horizontal asymptote at negative 2. X-intercept of negative 3. Y-intercept of negative 3. And then I would just try a couple of additional points. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have a curve like this. And a curve like that, because the asymptotes will help guide it. And there wasn't symmetry anyways. So you just find a couple more points around those two intercepts. Reminder, tomorrow you will turn in the review assignment and the review worksheet back in. Can you hold on your 2-6? Yes.